I'm Mike, Whiskey Alpha 9, Papa India Echo with Ham Radio Deluxe. If you find this video useful, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell.
Hi, I'm Lindy, KB9PIE.
And I'm Mike, WA9PIE.
We are here to give you an update today on Ham Radio Deluxe, everything we have moving and shaking as we head into the end of the year.
Absolutely. So I want to kind of address the elephant in the room. So a lot of people are sending us emails saying, when's the new release coming out? And you promised this, and we talked about that. So I want everybody to know that, just to be real honest and transparent, I'm as frustrated as anyone, probably more so than anyone, that this release is late. There are good and valid reasons for it that are hard for me to stomach, frankly, but they're also the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So I want to talk through what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing, kind of where it's headed, and things of that nature, because at the end of the day, we want you to know that we're committed and we're investing in making this product better.
100%.
So the first thing we're doing is a 6.9 release. That's in progress, has been in progress. And to give people kind of a feel for the magnitude of this, we started with the idea that we're going to get rid of Microsoft Access, we're going to replace it with SQLite. And as we started to do this within a code base that was frankly developed for Windows XP, we started bumping into some things that sooner or later you figure, okay, I can't live. It's like, you know, a house built on sand or whatever, you know. We can't live on this thing anymore and continue to make it faster and better. So the decision was, let's just completely rebuild Logbook. And I'll talk about how that kind of weighs into the other applications in a moment. Let's rebuild Logbook. We'll get rid of Access. We'll put in SQLite. We'll rebuild this on a platform that not only supports Windows, but it also supports Mac and Linux.
Which is something I've been hollering for a while.
Yeah, and there's no shortage of the people who come up to us at a Hamfest and say, when's the Mac version going to be available, because we're going to buy it. So everything we're doing now is designed to a desired end state, which is we want a brand new code base, we want the application to be faster, better, the features are, you know, more consistent, fewer cases where people have problems with it crashing because Microsoft released an update and it messed up Access. I don't want to live in that world anymore. So we're putting in a lot of effort into doing this. So, well, what's that mean, Mike? You know, you're putting in a lot of effort. Well, what that means is I have 3 developers working.
Full-time.
Full-time.
More than full-time. They're really invested in the success of
They're actually working weekends, but you know, just to give you some scope and magnitude, full-time employment is 2,080 hours a year. That's what full-time employment means. So I have 3 developers working full-time. 3 times 2,080 is something like 6,240.
Yeah.
So we've got 6,000 hours of work effort going into this product. And if you take whatever your favorite hourly rate is and multiply it times 6,000, that's the amount of money we're investing in improving the software. So, and it's a big number. And in some cases, frankly, that comes out of my pocket. And in some cases, when we sell renewals, we sell new customers, that money is all going back into development of the product, right? So we're not vacationing on a beach someplace, although we've had some great pictures of, you know, places that we've lived while I've been working somewhere else.
Right.
But the important thing to know is that for the amount of money that we're investing in this, we're serious about the outcome, okay? So version 6.9 is in progress. Depending on where we are when we finish up this video, I may be able to do a demo of some of the things that are coming with version 6.9, for example. People been asking for support for Parks on the Air, Summits on the Air, Poda and Soda, Worldwide Flora and Fauna. All that stuff is built into 6.9, and I can show that. I could show that now, but if the demo environment's ready, then we can probably include a piece of that with this video. Okay, as mentioned, I wanted to do, if I could, a little bit of a demo of 6.9. This happens to be 6.9 on one of our development computers, and I'm just going to spend just a few quick minutes talking about what's happened so far within the development environment and the improvements we're making in logbook version 6.9. So there's a few things to point out here. First of all, it's on a development machine, so there's a lot of things here that aren't finished as the work continues. But down along the lower portion of the screen, you can now see the most recent DX cluster announcement, the most recent WCY and WWV solar weather updates. You can always go back over to here. Another thing I can show is that the program will also have something called the DX histogram. And what the DX histogram is meant to do is to show you, based on the number of DX spots you've received, where the activity is. So over the course of the last hour, let's say, is most of the activity on 20 or 10 meters or 40 meters or whichever band it might be. And where is the activity? Is it coming from the phone portion of the band, the CW portion of the band, or the data or digital portion of the band? It'll show you that, and it'll help kind of direct your mind to where the bulk of the activity is on the air at the moment. So then, see a couple other things. One is that since this is all on SQLite, Microsoft Access is eliminated. If I double click on this record, it's going to open up really fast. Boom, done. And that's good because we want the application to be faster as the code improves. And there's a few things I'll point out here as part of this demo, and then I can pick up some other things at another time. One is that we've consolidated all the QSL activity onto one common tab, so you don't have to bounce back and forth between logbook and EQSL and QSL tabs. We're going to put it all in one tab so that in one tab you can see all of your QSL activity, which is great. And then the upload activity here. And part of the reason for that is that as we add things like club log confirmations or other things as OQRS and similar things come along, we didn't want to continue adding tabs, so we consolidated them. And you can see the upload status as an example here. We've also added support for POTA, SOTA, and Worldwide Flora and Fauna. This is cool because if you happen to work someone, you can, if you're a searcher, if you click on that button, you decide to, add in whatever park they're working from, you can actually type it in up here if you know it's K00200, for example. Whoops, I typed it wrong. You can just punch it in, and then it will tell you what the name of the park is, the country and state is what's showing up here, lat long, the grid. Now you have to take this kind of with a grain of salt because some of these grids some of these parks are a whole lot larger than one grid, span grids, but this kind of gives you a general idea of where it's located. And the same is true for SOTA. I won't go through that one here. And then Worldwide Flora and Fauna also has the same kind of list. And these lists are updated automatically. So as you can choose how often you want to update the list, but by default it will update automatically and get you the latest POTA and SOTA lists, which for the folks who do that part of the activity and the hobby, it's great. Meanwhile, if you're an activator, you can go to update your location, where in My Station you'll have the same ability to select whatever park you're activating. You can either, like I said, type it in or just select the one you're activating. That information will go
into each QSL as it's created. So it's worth pointing out that we've added full support for all the fields that are necessary in the latest version of ADIF, and you can now also store the credentials separately for EQSL, Logbook of the World, HRDlog.net, QRZ. Each call sign can have its own, or each location or call sign will have its own QRZ API key where you can put that, and then all the information about Logbook of the World. And all these things are location specific, so um, you won't have to flip out your API key anymore or change certain things about your location. It'll just automatically get populated. And show one more quick thing. Another thing that's been added, folks have requested a dark theme or a dark mode. So if you want to use the dark mode for Logbook anyway, this is pretty much the way it'll look with dark mode. And if you want to get back to dark mode, from dark mode, you just go back to the default style and boom, there you are. Those are some of the things that are coming. Work continues. We're excited to get it done and get it out so people can use it. It's going to be a whole lot better. And so with that, we'll turn it back to the rest of the presentation.
So, and there's a whole lot of other stuff and that's involved in this, frankly, with a lot of emphasis on speed, because we're adding more things, so the application has to be faster to deal with it. And so I could probably demo that if we have an opportunity to do that. So Logbook is the 6.9 release. I'm hopeful that we'll have that out for the holidays this year. I can't make any promises. I look dumb every time I do, so I'm not making any promises.
Yeah.
But the developers and the manager of the developers believes that this can get done before the holidays. So we're working towards that, but it has to go through a beta cycle. I may have an open beta. I don't know how we'll approach it, but once the software's ready for beta, then I'll have a feel for how much work we have left to do on it at that point. So rebuilding Logbook 6.9, rebuilding rig control 6.10. And some of the problems we want to, or the things we want to do there aren't all problems, but today it takes us far too long to get a radio added because the radio actually gets added in code. And you just have to have a developer read through the commands for the radio, code them, we test it, build a relationship. So in the 6.9 version, the intention is to have all those commands sit outside of code so that we can real quickly prepare the commands in a separate file. People can download them if they bought this new radio, and without doing a software release, they can have access to the new radio, and that'll be better. Also, and we've already started this code, but you'll be able to have, if you desire, the screen or the UI can look like your radio. If you want to, for not all radios, but for a lot of the most modern radios, you can use that if you wish.
Well, we've shown that some before. It's exciting. It's
pretty cool.
Very aesthetic.
It is. And I mean, it makes good use of the scroll if you want to tune your rig or do things. It's all very cool.
Yeah.
Then in that's 6.10. 6.11 will be a rewrite of DM780 or Digital Master. 6.11 will probably be a combined release that rewrites rotor control and satellite tracking. They're both relatively small and simple. I think we can get them done in the same release. But that's the trajectory we're on for those applications. Logbook is really complicated.
Well, and we've talked about this a lot over the last year. I tell people often that when I was in college, I worked in the restaurant industry, and when I was training someone, I told them, no matter how in the weeds you are, no matter your workload, if you drop off a glass of water, your customer is going to be happy because they have something in front of them. And so I've come to you a few times and said, isn't there something we can put out? But this is really foundational work.
Yeah, and believe me, I've asked, I said, is there anything we can do to, but, we've taken both approaches over the course of time. 18 months ago, we told people, or 24 months ago, we said, look, we're going to do maybe 12 releases a year that are gonna be smaller buckets of work, you know, to kind of knock down the backlog of requests for, you know, fixes and enhancements. And people said, man, you're doing too many releases, you're killing me here, why do you have to do,
Can't make
you know,
everybody happy.
right? And so why don't you just focus on one of the applications and get it all right, and then go to the next. So that's what we're doing now. And then there are people saying who, you know, would say, well, you know, I can't believe you're not doing more releases. You should be doing one. Anyway.
This one was so substantive that,
that's right.
you know, it's taken up time, but the time has been used effectively, for sure.
It's like remodeling your kitchen, right? I mean, you could replace your microwave, you know. But if you decide you're going to replace your cabinets or your flooring, you pull the stuff up and you look at it and go, oh, well, this electrical stuff isn't to code, and you know the plumbing, you know, blah blah blah. So you kind of start getting into these things where you go, okay, fine, just build me a brand new kitchen. No, just build me a brand new house. You know,
Yeah.
so we'll start over, right?
If you're gonna do it, you might as well do it right.
Right. So, yeah, a lot is going on right now. Some people will email me also and they'll say, you said version 7 was coming out. I never said version 7 was coming out. But when 6.9, 6.10, and 6.11 are done, 6.12 being the one with rotor control and rig control, the rotor control and rotor satellite tracking, when those pieces are done, all of the applications will be capable of running on Mac or Linux. When those pieces are done, they'll all be on a fresh new code set that should support multilingual capabilities, right? So we've had people say, well, can you add, you know, Spanish, French, German,
Yeah.
you know, your mother, and she's right, really wants to add Japanese, you know. So, you know, konnichiwa. They really want to add Japanese, right? So we'll do that. If it's capable, once we get all that stuff done. So version 7 will be essentially a roll-up of all that work. Along the way, we'll add contesting, which we've been talking for a while. We've add contesting, we'll add, you know, rig programming. We're going to replace Mapper with something that will be called HRD Global View. Really, really cool stuff there. That you can cast it to a 4K display. You'll be able to, you know, something kind of similar to what you might see in Grid Tracker or the Geocron hand bundle, all in one, included in the software. So those are the kinds of things we're working towards, and what version 7 will be. But there's no way I can project when version 7 will be, because I'm still trying to project when version 6.9 is done.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I know that I, for one, really appreciate your continued transparency around what's going on and the things that we're working towards. And there is a lot of big stuff in the pipeline. I think that your analogy of like rebuilding a kitchen, right? That's what we're doing. And like I said, it's foundational work. It is intensive. We're gonna get there. We would love for it to have been months ago, but we want to do it right.
But let me say this though, and this is the honest truth, because these are my results. There's not a lot wrong with the software as it is. It's fully functional. I use it every day. And 24 months ago, 18 months ago probably, I had about 2019 DXCC challenge countries. Today, so let's just say 18 months later, I've got 2,497. So I've gone up almost 500 DXCC challenge countries, because the information provided in Ham-Rated Deluxe Logbook has accelerated my progress. And last year, I won the certificate for the 5th call area for CQDX Marathon. I'm going to win this year, because like I said in the other video we did a while ago, I hate to lose.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm going to win the 5th call area CQDX Marathon certificate again this year. And the way I'm doing that is by using Ham-Rated Deluxe and the tools that's provided in it. It's great. It works really well. We're just taking something that works really well and making
Making
it
it
work
better.
better.
Yeah.
One other thing to point out is that I talk to the development manager every day. I get a status report from them every day. I get to see the work that they do every day, and so I know they're making progress. So if we weren't, and that, as transparent as we're being, if we weren't making progress, I would just tell you, you know, the situation is bleak, but it's not, you know.
Yeah.
We're making progress and
Yeah.
things are going really well.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, I think that pretty much puts a bow on that elephant that's been sitting over in the corner, right? If you
I
have
look
any
at it every day.
questions, yeah, you know, we're accessible. We're here to answer your questions, and we look forward to this next release just as much as you do.